All right, music fans, welcome back. It is I, Dave, the real music observer, observing real music in real time for real people, just like you and just like me. Are the Rolling Stones about to quit? That is the topic of this video, as Charlie Watts kind of on record saying maybe after this tour, if anybody in the band says we've had enough, then maybe we've had enough. Got this intel from Ultimate Classic Rock. I love playing the drums and I love playing with Mick and Keith and Ronnie, says Watts, who's 76. He's actually talking to The Guardian here. I don't know about the rest of it. It wouldn't bother me, though, if the Rolling Stones said, that's it, enough. The Stones will appear across the UK and Europe between May and July. These are their first dates in the UK in 5 years, and pre-sales for most of the shows in the No Filter tour. I can really taste it, Mick. That's Keith Richards, by the way. These... I lost my place. A lot is riding on Charlie Watts. It is possible that the Stones would call it quits rather than continue without their longtime drummer. In the past, Keith Richards has said, there just couldn't be a Rolling Stones without Charlie Watts. Please, someone help me. I'm going to keel over. Now more than 5 decades into a remarkable career with the band, Watts admitted he's uncertain about what might come next. I don't know what I would do if I stopped, he said. The big worry for me is being well enough. I can relate to that, mate. Being well enough is the big struggle nowadays. We don't work like we used to. Fortunately, there are huge gaps between each show. And if and when it happens, Watts hopes that the Stones go out amicably. In other words, he doesn't want it to be a fight. He just wants somebody to say, hey, I've had enough, guys. Let's quit. In the meantime, Watts said he's focused on the task at hand rather than on the bigger question of whether this is, in fact, the Rolling Stones' last tour. For me, I would like to be standing on Sunday, July 8th, at the end of the tour in Warsaw, Watts says. That's as far as I could see. Mate, you're seeing a lot further than me right now. Bloody whiskey in the morning is not a good idea. So will the Stones just call it quits after this? I think they're going to leave their options open. I know that sounds crazy. But what, their 50th tour a few years back, everybody was like, well, that's it. They're quitting. You've got other bands that are hanging in. Chicago is at 51 and climbing. And there's other groups out there approaching or eclipsing that number, which is some pretty crazy stuff. Led Zeppelin, guys, I know they're doing some celebration, according to Robert Plant. Not sure what that entails. But I think the Stones will probably just do the tour dates, and then they are apparently working on an album, too. They did the blues album because they got off track from the other material they were working on. So I think there are new songs that have been recorded. So my guess is they'll record another album and then do a farewell tour and support the album with the farewell tour. That would be my guess. But Charlie Watts, he's ready to just call it a career. And what a career. I'm Dave, this is the Real Music Observer, and I'll be back with more real music in real time for real people, just like you and just like me. And we'll do it real soon.